familiar faces and new energy all in one room. Today it is not just about lectures and all these 2 days, it's about a shared journey. The transition from the classrooms where we learn the basics of audiology and SLP to the clinics and centers where we are now making real life impact. We dive into our first session. Let's get a quick pulse of a room. How many of you are currently balancing full-time clinical and a bit of research? Can you please raise your hands? Okay, so this gives a perfect base to our first lecture, our first keynote, address by Dr. Vaneja ma'am. So often we think that research and practice are two separate islands, but we study research to pass the exams and we practice it to treat the patients. But the magic happens in the loop, how our clinical challenges inform our new studies and how those studies in turn refine our patient care. To lead us to this vital connection, we are immensely honored to have us with a true pillar of our fraternity. She is one of our most senior and respected ASLP, a mentor to many, and a powerhouse of knowledge. Please join me with very warm welcome of Dr. C.S. Vaneja ma'am as she delivers the keynote address titled Research Practice Loop, Translating Research into the Clinical Practice and Practice into Research. This is the intro slides of ma'am, but as we know, these intro slides are very much smaller than what ma'am has taught all of us. So ma'am, please, I welcome you on the dais.
Good morning, everybody. It's really an honor, I can say, for me to come here for this conference because, like all of you know, it's a pleasure for me to be here for two reasons. One, it is the 20th year of School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology, which was founded in 2006. So we have to start with a pranams to our founder chancellor, Dr. Patangrao Kadam, who initiated this college, who started the college, and all the university officials who really made it happen. Okay, and I joined this in 2000, college in 2007. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of 2007, but I have a pic of 2009 where we had only these many faculty. This is faculty plus admin staff is what it is. And when I joined, there are only 4 pillars of ASLP. That is Dr. Aarti Vaknis, Dr. Sharda Sarda, Mrs. Tambe, and Dr. Namita Joshi. They were the only 4 people who were there as ASLPs, with Dr. Belsare as in-charge principal. And of course, we had our admin staff, Patil, Swati, and other teams. Okay, and by the time I was here till 2024 December, and by the time I left, we had a bigger group. And now I know it has grown much more also. So a lot of memories come into my mind. It's like a kaleidoscope. I have lots of pleasant memories which run into say how we started building this place, and like I'm fortunate to be one of the persons who was here for the formative years. So it gives us a lot of pride to say how we built this institute into this category. And now the present principal, Dr. Aarti Vaknis, and the team are taking it to a higher level with the more and more colors into this. So I'm really happy and proud of this, okay? And the second reason I'm happy is because it is a conference led by our alumni. And as a teacher, what we want is, we do not want students to just go out with a degree. We want them to excel. We want them to excel in whatever they choose to do. It may be clinics, it may be research, it may be academics. Whatever they want to do, we want them to excel. So I'm really happy that we have a conference now which is led by the alumni. And all of you remember, I think 2 years back, we started this concept and we had a alumni conference, we said by the alumni for the alumni. So it was only attended by the alumni. But now it's gone one step ahead where it is by the alumni for all ASLPs. So that makes us even more proud. So today morning, actually, I was sitting and looking into the pictures of different batches. So I have a picture of few batches of starting from 2006. It's in random order. I think Ashwini Kunjir collected this sometime back when I wanted the, 3 or 4 years back, she collected this. So you can see many of us students who were so young now are actually a leading professional now, and they are the resource persons for this conference. So that really gives me a lot of pleasure. I mean, that is what a teacher will always ask for. Anything that we want our students to be doing something better than what we are doing is what we always want. So I'm really happy and proud about that. So congratulations to Dr. Aarti Waknis and team and Mr. Shahid Sheikh and team for this organization. Okay, that is the college group and the alumni group both need a big clap. I think everybody can clap for them to say it. So now coming to the keynote address, like the Mr. Sahil rightly put it, saying that we always think of researchers and clinicians as two islands. Is there a connection between research and clinician? So do clinicians really need to be a part of research work, or do they only need to read what happens in research, is what we always think. And this is, I'm starting with a very, very old statement where sometime in 1984, that is 40 years back, there was a statement which said that many clinicians view research with skepticism, because one reason is that they say that many of the research methodologies are not applicable clinically. And then some of the research findings, when you look into it, you say, it cannot be really applied to our clinics. So because of that, many people think that, okay, research is not for us. And as ASLP, we are all clinicians, but clinicians and researchers are many times considered as like two different islands, like I said, two different species. So researchers are only people who are in an academic institute or in a research lab doing research as to what needs to be done. And I'm a clinician, I can't really do that. And many times I've also heard clinicians saying when it is a ISHACon or something, okay, there is nothing for clinicians in ISHACon, is the statement I've heard many times. I've also heard statements like saying, oh, je kai sangta te karu nahi shakta. So that was one statement. I really heard it for, I mean, truthfully, it was for my own lecture. I overheard somebody saying that. So it's, so what I want to say is that it is not really true. So we all know that we have one group of researchers, and this is the Gemini 3.1 version did this picture for me when I said a researcher, audiologist doing research. And then we have a group of clinicians who say that they are doing only clinical work. Okay. So, but what we really want to say is that the two are really related. Don't you all agree? Because all of you, I'm sure, agree that research and clinical practice is connected, because clinical practice depends on research. But is there an other way connection? Is what I want to stress today is that there is both way connection. It is not that your clinical practice is enhanced by research. Research is also enhanced by the clinical findings. During your clinical findings, whatever you find, that will actually enhance the research findings. Okay. So to start with, like, all of us as ASLPs are clinicians, whether we are an academician, researcher, all that comes last. Our profession is that we are clinicians. So now if you want to be in clinics now, if you want to run a good clinic, what is it that we need? We always say that, okay, we should have good ethical practice, should have practice with good scientific evidence, and there should be proper documentation, good quality services, and then there has to be evidence-based practice. Your scientific integrity comes from evidence-based practice, right? All of us now, the buzzword now is evidence-based practice. Everybody says, okay, are you doing evidence-based practice? Do you have the certification dash dash dash? Now people look into not just the degree and postgraduate degree. Now they say how many certifications you have is what people look into. Okay. Now, what actually constitutes evidence-based practice? Like all of you know, evidence-based practice is based on the scientific evidence. Then comes your clinical expertise, and then comes the patient or the observer's role. Okay, so what really is feasible for them? So putting all these three together is what is a good evidence-based practice. Just the scientific evidence cannot really make it as a good evidence-based practice. So what I want to stress here is your clinical expertise and the patient or the caregiver perspective. That is also important, and that part of it can be contributed only by clinicians. Okay, scientific evidence as to what needs to be done, which is the better stimuli for recording auditory brainstem response, or what therapy will work for somebody will initially with a theoretical part can be done by scientists. Whereas if you want to add in the clinical experience, clinical expertise, then it has to come from the clinicians, right? So we all know that there are scientific evidence, there are different levels of scientific evidence if you go by evidence-based practice. So we have starting from your clinical expertise to meta-analysis and systematic review. So systematic review and meta-analysis has the highest form of evidence. That is the highest level of evidence we can say in the hierarchy. But what I want you also to see is that you do have cohort studies, or below that we have case control studies, case series, case reports. So now all these can be contributed by clinicians also. You don't have to be a pure researchers to contribute into all these. Yes, if you have to do a randomized control study, then it is difficult. Okay, in your clinics doing everything and doing a randomized clinical control, randomized control study is going to be difficult, but rest of it can be done by clinicians also. Okay, and based on these things, now we can also classify this research into two types. One is we say basic research and translational research. So basic research is where you find out like what gene is responsible for like you say dash 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 gene will code for this protein. Okay, or if there is a mutation of this gene that causes hearing loss. So that is going to be your basic research. Whereas your applied research or the translation research is how are we going to use this? So can there be a gene therapy which can be applied? Or if you take in terms of your auditory brainstem response, for example, the stimuli you're generating, you generate a chirp stimuli, you generate a tone burst stimuli. So generation of that saying that this can elicit a response from the auditory nervous system, that becomes a basic science discovery. Whereas your translation research would be how do I use chirp to elicit patients' responses? Will it really help me in identifying sloping hearing loss? Will it really help me in finding out different configuration of hearing loss? All that comes into your translational research. So we do have basic science as well as translational research, and what we actually look into when I look into clinicians part of this is translational research. So most of the time, if you have seen Bharati Vidyapeeth, when we do research, we do look into what can be applied clinically, but then a basic research is also required. And basic research, of course, requires a good research setup, so it cannot be done everywhere by everybody. Okay, so translation research, like I said, will convert your system, your basic scientific discoveries into practical and clinical application. Okay, it's most often is described as bench to bedside in the medical terms. So, or I can say in audiology terms, it is from lab to clinics. Okay, and the basic goal here is to ensure that the theoretical discoveries move beyond academic journals. So it is not for articles. So you don't do your research only to publish in an article and it will say in that article and like, okay, my name gets said so many times, I get cited so many times, so I have 800 citation, I have 1000 citation. That doesn't take me anywhere. Okay, I'll be happy if whatever I've done, if it is used by other people and then they find it useful for patients and the patient's quality of care, what we give to the patient care, what we give, if that improves, then we will be happy. So, okay, so we do translational research to make sure that there is diagnostic tools are implemented, therapeutic tools are implemented in clinics, and that can be used by all clinicians. Now, this translation can happen only if clinicians are involved, right? So all of you agree that when you're doing clinical practice, you have to look into what research evidence is there and then take these things, right? So generally you have research, so based on the research, you have new tools developed, and these new tools will improve the quality of services. So now can everybody apply all the tools in their clinics? What do we really require? What does a clinician require to apply these tools? So most often I say one is you require a skill, meaning you should know how to do a particular test, right? If you're not trained in doing a particular test, then you'll not be able to do it. That's the reason you have so many certifications now. At our times, we would learn it by ourselves, all these things. So, but anyway, the skill is required. And then most important is you should have the determination that I want to do this. And you should have time, of course. And some of these things will also involve money, because you are spending your time that involves money, or you may have to buy some instruments, may have to buy some tools that involves money. So you have to plan everything properly. Okay, and of course you should have access to all these things, because when tests are developed, you need to make sure that the tests are really available to all clinicians. So at Bharati Vidyapeeth, we always made sure that whatever is developed can be used by other clinicians also. So most of the academic institutes now are making these things accessible. So now what I generally say is, for the clinician, if you are a clinician, what is important for you is that you should have the determination and planning. That is why I've put it in blue. So if you have determination and if you can plan well, then rest of the things will automatically come. You can manage rest of the things. It is not impossible to have rest of the things. So, okay, and when you have all these also, will you accept all research discovery into your clinical thing? No, you'll not accept all research evidence into your clinical practice, right? Because you will always look into whether it really improves the quality care. Will it really improves the patient care is what you will look into. And then you'll see whether it is time efficient. If I develop a test which takes one full day to test, then nobody will want to use the test, right? So it has to be as fast as possible and giving the best result. And it has to be, of course, cost effective, because when you are running your clinic, you have to look into that also. Cost benefit analysis is also important. Only if these three are there, then you will really practice it, or you'll use the research evidence into your clinics and make it into your everyday thing. But we also know that there's so many researchers that happens, and then some of the things just fades off. So for example, I always quote from my own thing where we had this mismatch negativity. And when it started in 1990s, mismatch negativity was a big thing. So we did a lot of research on mismatch negativity. But then ultimately it didn't really come into clinics, because I only found that it does not really give me a difference when I test a patient. It was giving me a significant difference when I test two groups of people. But when I test an individual patient, it was not really giving me a significant difference. So that really doesn't help me in using it clinically. So then we said, okay, people did not use it clinically. So similarly, I think you must have heard of multi-frequency tympanometry also. So multi-frequency tympanometry was there for one time, and then slowly it faded off. Now we have acoustic absorbance, or the wideband tympanometry, which is coming into picture. We need to see how well it will be accepted. Whereas the tympanometry, the 226 hertz tympanometry has withstood the test so far, because we've always found something useful, and it is simple to do, but it is always useful and helpful in doing it. So we sometimes what happens is, there are many times I've seen clinicians like buy these instruments. Like I know like a good practitioner in Pune starting to buy. Okay, I bought a really measuring instrument because I want to see whether it will help me, or I bought this instrument because I want to see whether it will really help me in testing. But then sometimes you buy an instrument, you start using it, and then you will stop in between. So what happens in the process? The problem I have, or we have, is that that does not get documented. That just goes as a conversation, but it does not really get documented completely. So we do not really explore why is something not really being used in clinics. What prevents this being used in the clinic? And that feedback has to be given by the clinician. As a researcher, when a researcher develops something, when a researcher develops a protocol, the researcher will always think, of course, there will also be a bias by the researcher, where they will think that, okay, whatever I develop is the best thing, or whatever I've done, okay, that is really good. But then somebody else will use it, and somebody else has to say why it is not really useful. So what really is the problem? So that needs to be documented. And a lot of times that becomes just a loose talk, as, oh, I didn't really find it useful, so I'm not using it. Or that doesn't help me, so I'm not using this in clinics. I cannot do it with everyday patients. When I have 10 patients waiting in a day, I cannot be doing these things. So when you have these kind of things, what I say is that, why can't clinicians document and say, okay, why was something not used? Why is it? What is the problem with it? Then maybe we can come up with a solution to see what else can be done. So if something is very long and you cannot use it, then can we make a short form of it? So to do that part of it, we need a feedback from the clinician. So we need a systematic documentation for that. And that is where we are lacking we can say. It's not just in India, all over the world, actually, we are lacking in that part of it. Okay. So now we all know that clinical practice change with advance in technology and advances in research, like I've been saying. So more we develop something, then our clinical practice becomes better. Now we do need data, white papers for this or done by the companies, or we do have data for these published articles, which are all from the Western countries, right? We do not have too many Indian studies to say something is useful, something is not useful. We all depend on international journals. Yes, it's good to refer, but then all publications by other people we look into and then say, or Max, okay, we'll adapt this into our language, is what we will say later. Okay? So now all of us know that the population of India is really huge, right? And our patient load is much, much more than what is there elsewhere. So the number of patients you see in the audiology speech language pathology clinic is definitely more than what is seen elsewhere in the world. So now the only problem is that it is not getting documented properly. So what we need to do is document it properly. How do you really document? You require a little modification I would suggest to all clinicians is that you follow your own protocol. I'm not saying that whatever was taught to you in college that needs to be used 100%, because when you start practicing, you find out what is best for you, what works out best for your clinics, for your clients, and then you use it. But then do it in a systematic way. Have your own protocol. So you can say protocol by dash dash dash, and then but do it in a systematic way, and you document those results. Okay. So if you do that, then I say that all clinicians have something to provide information for research. Okay, they can, some levels of evidence can be given by all clinicians, can do all studies. I'm not saying that you cannot do a RCT. You can also do an RCT, but I'm saying everybody will have case control studies, case CDs, case reports. Remember, every case from the time people are, you are in your bachelor's, all teachers will tell you that you learn from every case you see, right? That is the reason in bachelor's, all academic courses have, programs have a clinical conference in your final year where you're presenting a case and trying to see what you learned from that case and what others can learn from that case. And you must, if you go back into your bachelor's day and you think, you must be remembering that initially when you say you have to present a case, you'll always wonder, oh, I don't have a case to present. What do I do? What do I present? And then you start looking into what patients you have seen. And then you really get something, and at the end of the thing, when you present it in the clinical conference, you really know that there was so much more learning in it. So you put into your thoughts as to what is there in the research, what did you find in this patient, maybe you couldn't do something or you could do something better. So there is so much to learn from each patient. So now similarly, if I say that, and your student days, if you're finding that, when you're working every day in your clinics, I'm sure there will be hundreds of patients who are telling you something, right? So you need to document that. And why do you need to document that? You need to document it, one, because not just because I'm saying, okay, yeah, definitely you publish a case, you get your name into it and say so and so published this article, that is there. It is not just that, it is also something you're giving it to the community. So if you have seen a patient and something is found useful for that patient, then somebody else can also use that, right? So it is helping the public actually. It is not just helping you or your friend, it is helping the public because you found that dash treatment is helpful in these kind of patients. So somebody else can also try that, or they can improve on that and do more. So we are lacking on that part of it because we don't really publish. So a lot of times we also tried, even at Misha level, we tried initially this case report or case presentations. It didn't happen initially. Now I think it's happening, so I'm happy about that part of it. So similarly, even in the present conference, I see clinicians presenting papers. So again, I'm happy about that part of it. So I want the same thing, just go one step ahead and then start publishing it. So when I'm talking of publishing here, I know publishing also is a lot of thing where you require a lot of time to publish, and to do a study systematically, you may put it on paper, you may think that it requires a lot of time, but now you do have a lot of means to do it. You have AI which can help you in finding out your review. Of course, if you're using AI, use it with caution and learn how to use it before you start using it. Don't just put a keyword in the Gemini and then start using it. But you can use it carefully. Then you have access to a lot of things. You have access to planning also. And then you also have a lot of journals which can publish. And then it need not be like a highly rated Scopus Index journal, which Q1 journal, which will publish with dash 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 dollars of money. You don't have to go in for that. There are so many other journals in which you can publish. But then you start doing it, then you start spreading your information. I mean, everybody, you are learning from each other when you do that. Okay. Okay, so like I said, control studies require very optimum protocols or design thing. So if you want to do control studies, you need to be very careful in when you're doing it. Whereas other things, case reports and other things can be done automatically. Okay, and I always say that the translational research will fail if clinicians are not involved in it. So translational research, most often people talk of 4 steps in it. One is the basic science with the fundamental discoveries. Like I was telling you, finding out a gene is responsible for something, or finding out a stimuli can be used to elicit autoacoustic emission or an auditory brainstem response. That will be like your fundamental basic science. And then that gets translated to humans. So that is you record in a normal hearing individuals to say whether or not typically developing individuals to say what can we get and how do we, what information do we get from that. And then later that transferred into the patient. So can we really diagnose a patient using that, or how does it help in assessment, or how does it help in management? Okay, so then once it starts helping in diagnosis and management, it becomes an everyday clinical practice thing. So your T2 and T3 cannot happen without clinicians. So right now what happens is even the T2, T3 happens in academic institutes where we all have a clinic in all academic institutes. So we do it in academic institutes. But what I want is all independent practitioners also to be involved in T2 and T3. So then I think we will have more evidence and better practices in ASLP. Okay, so what I want to say is that translational research is not one single event, it is a loop. Okay, so you have laboratory discoveries. These laboratory discoveries become clinical practice. And when you start doing it in clinical practice, you have clinical observation. So this clinical observation, basically here what I look into is what challenges are faced by clinicians. Okay, so that is something which is very, very individualistic. No researcher can get that part of it. Challenges faced in the clinic cannot be really ascertained by any researchers. Okay, we may assume and say, okay, this may be the problem. But actually what happens is individualistic, and it may vary from one clinic to another clinic. It may vary depending on whether you're working in a rural area, whether you're working in an urban area, or what kind of patients are you seeing. So there's so many n number of factors which will affect these challenges. So now if you document those challenges, then we can actually tune in to say what can be done to improve that. So that becomes again a feedback for your laboratory services. Okay, so you are using clinical evidence or research evidence to clinical practice. At the same time, you also need to use clinical evidence into research is what I want to say. Okay. So what do we really need to put this transfer practice into the research? We have the same thing. It's the same slide actually what I put earlier. I've just changed the title of it. Okay, so you require the same thing. Should have the skill, determination, time, money, and access. And again, what I say is that your determination and planning is what is more important. So only if you have that, then you can really do something. And I want everybody to be developed, or everybody to develop that and start putting something into the research. Okay. So all of us believe in evidence-based practice, but I want everybody also to believe in practice-based evidence. Okay. So if you do that, all clinicians should follow evidence-based practice and contribute evidence from their clinical practice. Then that will really improve quality of services to all patients. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for forming a bridge between the two islands that were the practice and research. Now, I would like to invite Aarti ma'am to felicitate Vaneja ma'am. Please, ma'am. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your enthusiastic talk. This was a perfect beginning for the alumni conference. Now, moving forward, we have a brief company symposium by Labat Asia. From Labat Asia, there is Mr. Tarlochan Dave. He is a self-driven, responsible, and a visionary leader who positivity, integrity, and work ethic from the foundation of Labat Asia's success. A first-generation entrepreneur with nearly 4 decades of experience in healthcare and medical equipment industry, he brings unmatched expertise in business development and customer relationship management. His deep understanding of industry fundamentals coupled with commitment to excellence has shaped Labat Asia into a trusted name in hearing diagnostic technology. Beyond business, Mr. Dev is deeply passionate about environmental conservation, actively leading tree plantation drives, encouraging sustainable practices, and promoting physical and mental awareness. A cycling enthusiast and advocate of healthy living, he leads by example in promoting fitness and balance. As a humanitarian, he also contributes to community welfare by organizing annual blood and organ donation camps every year on his birthday. A Paul Harris Fellow Rotarian, Mr. Dave drives several green initiatives within the workplace to reduce carbon footprint and foster a culture of sustainability. His consistent efforts reflect his belief that true leadership extends beyond business success, creating a positive and lasting social impact. So I would like to welcome Mr. Dev.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I, Ms. Rucha Vivek, Assistant Professor Audiology at BVDU School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology, extend a warm welcome to our dignified guests, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Sauji, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, faculty members, delegates, our dear alumni and students. I have been an alumna of School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology and have been associated with this college for over 13 years in very different roles. It gives me great pride on behalf of the organizing committee to have this opportunity to welcome you as a part of this event today. Today's occasion marks not only the inauguration of a conference but also the celebration of a remarkable legacy built upon academic excellence, professional commitment, and dedicated service to the community. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome our dignitaries to the dais. We are honored by the presence of Dr. Vivek Sauji sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University Pune, Shri G. Jaikumar sir, Honorable Registrar, Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University Pune, Dr. Asmita Jagtap ma'am, Honorable Executive Director, Health Sciences, Bharati Vidyapeeth Pune. Your gracious presence lends immense dignity and prestige to this occasion. This year holds a special significance as our institute proudly commemorates 2 decades of dedicated service in this field of audiology and speech language pathology. Guided by the visionary ideals of Bharati Vidyapeeth and our late founder chancellor, Dr. Pathagrauji Kadam Sahib, SASLP has steadfastly upheld its mission of academic excellence, innovation, and service to society. It is only fitting that we celebrate this memorable milestone alongside our beloved alumni, our SASLP family that has over the years expanded its presence and impact across the globe. Today, we come together to formally inaugurate this conference titled From Education to Professional Excellence, Alumni-led Conference in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. This conference was conceptualized by our former principal, Dr. C.S. Vanaja, formed to celebrate our alumni and provide an opportunity for all of us to learn from one another. Initiated in 2024, it encourages intellectual exchange, collaboration, and gives us a chance to walk down the memory lanes of our college life once again. On behalf of the alumni, I would like to express heartfelt gratitude to the Institute for bringing us together once again to reconnect and contribute new perspectives and knowledge to our field. I now invite Aarti ma'am to please deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Rucha. Good morning. Good morning to all the distinguished guests on the stage, respected university officials, esteemed alumni, faculty members, students, staff, and my dear friends of our institute. It is my proud privilege to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to the esteemed dignitaries who have graciously joined us on this momentous occasion of celebrating 20 glorious years of our institute. We are deeply honored by the presence of our uh, Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Vivek Sauji, whose innovative ideas encourage us to look at the routine work always from a fresh perspective and to conduct out of box events. May I call upon Dr. Belsarim ma'am to welcome, sir? Kuhu. A warm welcome to our respected Registrar, sir. Your guidance and encouragement makes our work easier and enjoyable too. a very, very warm welcome to Dr. Asmita Kadam, ma'am, Executive Director of Health Sciences. Ma'am, you are our listening ear, sounding board, and go-to person, directing us towards growth and ever encouraging all our activities and events. Thank you, ma'am. I also welcome all the other dignitaries who have graced the occasion. Our Dean, Dr. Priscilla Joshi, ma'am, Principal of Medical College, Mandar Karmarkar, sir, all the principals, vice principals, head of departments, distinguished guests, and others. I also extend my special welcome to Dr. Vanaja, ma'am, and Dr. Medha Karbari, ma'am. Your presence today adds immense dignity and significance to this celebration, and we are truly grateful to your continued encouragement, support, and continued association with our institution. Today is a Today is a truly emotional and a very, very proud moment for me as we all gather here to celebrate 20 glorious years of our institute's journey. Standing here not only as principal in charge, but also as one of the earliest teachers who got associated with the institution, I feel deeply privileged to witness how a dream that was nurtured by some a few years ago has blossomed into a vibrant center of learning, innovation, and excellence. On this memorable occasion, it is my foremost duty to acknowledge and express our heartfelt gratitude to our founder chancellor, Sir Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib, and to the four visionary founder members who founded this institute: Dr. Gauri Belsare ma'am, our honorary director, Dr. Karandikar sir, Dr. Shivajirao Kadam sir, our chancellor, and Registrar sir, whose dedication, courage, and foresight laid the foundation of this institute. Their belief in creating an institution committed to academic excellence and human values transformed an idea into a reality. Today's achievements stand as a tribute of their relentless efforts that they took in establishing this institute and their unwavering commitment in supporting this institute to where we stand today. I would also like to specially acknowledge the earliest teachers of the institute, Dr. Namita Joshi, Madhavi Tambe ma'am, Sharda Sarda, who joined this journey along with me during its formative years. I was among the four who were the first ones to be starting this college. In those early days, resources were limited, but our enthusiasm was limitless. It was as if God recognized the need and said, "May the force be with you." And then Dr. Vanaja ma'am joined us, and then there was no looking back. Together, we all worked with passion, determination, and a shared dream to build a culture of quality education and holistic development. The strong academic foundation established by ma'am during those foundation years continues to guide us today. The postgraduate program that was initiated in 2010 became stronger thanks to the support of three stalwarts in the field of ASLP: Professor Geeta Gore ma'am and Maya Sanghi ma'am, who had just retired from Nair Hospital program after working there for a very, very long time, and Dr. Medha Karbari Adaryu ma'am, who retired from Alia Vajang Institute, Mumbai. So they came all the way from Mumbai to guide us into our postgraduate program and guide our students as well. The academic, clinical, research, co-curricular, extracurricular activities that we boast of today are a product of the enthusiastic commitment of many faculty who joined us on the way. Some of them stayed and some had to move on. If I name a few, it would be injustice to the others. So I will just say a thank you to all. Friends, the journey of these 20 years has been extraordinary. From modest beginnings with limited space and infrastructure, we have steadily grown and are growing into a well-established institution equipped with modern facilities, advanced laboratories, enriched libraries, smart classrooms, and expanded academic spaces. And we keep expanding. The latest boost being the air conditioning in the classrooms. This was for the student welfare. Our students' intake has increased remarkably over the years, reflecting the trust and confidence that the council, students, and parents place in our institute. Alongside physical growth, we have strengthened our academic and research culture. Our institute has proudly organized numerous knowledge based events, seminars, workshops, conferences, faculty development programs that have enriched learning experiences for students as well as the teachers alike. Our faculty members and students have contributed significantly through their scientific paper presentations, research publications at national and international platforms, enhancing the academic reputation of the institute in not only in India but now even abroad. Over these 20 years, our institute has received numerous awards and recognitions. Equally important has been our emphasis on extracurricular and co curricular activities. We have always believed that education extends beyond classrooms. Our students excel in cultural events, sports, social initiatives, which are our backbone, leadership activities, and various competitions, bringing many laurels to the institute at different levels. One of the greatest strengths and proudest achievements of any institute is their alumni. And today we celebrate our alumni with immense pride. Our alumni are making remarkable contributions across the globe in many countries in academics, industry, healthcare, research, entrepreneurship. They have set up their private clinics across the globe, administration, and also social service. They carry the values and spirits of Bharati Vidyapeeth wherever they go, and their success stories inspire our present generation of students. It gives me immense happiness that alongside this grand celebration of 20 years, we are also hosting the second alumni led conference. This initiative beautifully reflects the strong bond that is there between the institute and our alumni community. It is heartening to see all our former students return not just as guests, but as contributors, mentors, collaborators, partners, and organizers of this conference. As we celebrate this milestone, we also look ahead with renewed enthusiasm and responsibility. The future holds immense possibilities for our institute, and I'm confident that with the continued support and guidance from Asmita ma'am as well as the other officials of the university, the active involvement of our alumni, the dedication of our faculty and staff, and the goodwill of all our well wishers, our institute will continue to scale even greater heights in the years to come. Before I conclude, I once again express my sincere gratitude to every individual who has contributed to this remarkable 20-year journey: founders, teachers, staff, students, alumni, parents, supporters, and many others. This celebration is not just ours, but it belongs to you as well. Let us continue to move forward together with the same spirit, commitment, and vision that brought us here today. Thank you and wish everyone a very, very happy 20 years celebration. To commemorate this 20-year celebration, we have put in a small video that shows our journey of our college of 20 years. So it's a short video, we'll just view that. Thank you.
We have now a special video by Dr. Karandikar.
It's a great pleasure and privilege to address the conference of completion of 20th glorious years of the School of Audiology and Speech Language Therapy and also the National Conference of Professionals, Audiology and Speech Language Therapy Experts. With great efforts and the idea of Dr. Gauri Belsare and full support of Dr. Vanaja and the management of Bharati Vidyapeeth Deep University that the college has been able to achieve this pinnacle of excellence. And under the leadership of Dr. Vaknis and her team, I am sure that the college will further take strides into more and more fields. I send my best wishes for the further glorious completion of the years of the college, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Komal Mishra.
I request the dignitaries to please be on stage. The proceedings of this conference have been prepared as a reflection of the collective efforts, academic spirit, and memorable journey associated with this conference and our institution. I request the dignitaries to now kindly unveil the conference proceedings.
I'm so sorry for these confusions. Actually, we have a call from Rehab Council of India, which is a statutory body, and they take an attendance of all the resource persons as well as every delegate who's attending the conference. So people at the backstage and the resource persons have been called for the attendance. So there is a little bit of confusion, but I really my sincere apologies to everybody for the glitches. But we will continue with the program the best way we can, because we also need to be on schedule as per the Rehab Council. So we will continue with the program. Please bear with the glitches that we have in the program.
Pranjal Maurya.
We are honored to welcome here Dr. Asmita Jagtap ma'am, Honorable Executive Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth Health Sciences, Pune. Dr. Asmita Jagtap ma'am has emerged as a visionary leader, committing to advancing accessible and affordable healthcare while forwarding the illustrious legacy of our late founder Chancellor, Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib. An accomplished academician and healthcare administrator, Dr. Asmita Jagtap ma'am holds qualifications including MBBS, MD in psychiatry, diploma in labor laws, PG diploma in medical legal sciences, and a PhD in hospital administration. She has further enriched her expertise through executive leadership programs at prestigious institutes such as Cornell University, New York, and Stanford University, California. As the executive director of Bharati Vidyapeeth Health Sciences, she oversees a wide network of hospitals and healthcare institutions dedicated to delivering quality medical care across multiple disciplines. We welcome you, ma'am, and request you to address the audience.
Good morning, everybody. You know, please bear with me. Have some issues with my throat. In fact, this is the best, I think, venue and opportunity to have something go wrong with your throat. But I have a lot of experts now to tell me what's wrong, which I will be taking your guidance afterwards. But so please bear with me. Respected dignitaries on the dais, we have Honorable VC Sir, Saudi Sir, Registrar Sir, Dr. Belsare, Dr. Vanaja, Dr. Vaknis, and faculty members, alumni, students, professionals from the field of audiology and speech language pathology, and my dear friends. You know, it gives me a very immense happiness to be here today for this very special occasion. You know, celebrating 20 years of excellence, dedication, and service through this alumni-led national conference. You know, for me, 20 years is just not a milestone. I feel it's a journey. It's a journey that turns classrooms into clinics, of students becoming professionals, of learning becoming and transferring into healing, and of education involving into professional excellence. I'm so sorry. Today when I look around this hall, what I see is not just alumni. I see stories that have been a part and parcel for the last 20 years of Bharati Vidyapeeth. I see stories of perseverance, I see stories of compassion, I see stories of innovation, and I see stories of impact. See, audiology and speech language pathology is not merely a profession, I feel. It's a profession that really restores confidence, gives voice to expression, and reconnects people to the world around them. Every patient, especially when I always have been visiting audiology, and I've seen the change. I've seen the happiness that the each child feels, the each patient treated, the each child which has been helped to speak, and each individual that has been helped to hear better. I feel is a life changed forever. At Bharati Vidyapeeth, we have a motto which says social transformation through dynamic education. And I feel that this department truly reflects that motto in action. I'm very, very proud of you guys. Because when education helps a child communicate, helps an elderly man hear again, helps a family regain hope, that I feel is a real social transformation. So congratulations to each and every member, the faculty, the students for making this change. What I felt was that this conference is really truly meaningful because this has been led by the alumni. For me or for any person who has an institute like us, I feel that the true measure of success is not only in the infrastructure that it builds, but in the human that it brings it in its natures. Seeing our alumni return, not only as guests, but as leaders, as experts, as mentors, and as contributors is a matter of great pride for me here on Bharati Vidyapeeth. I congratulate all of you and I again welcome you back over here. I'm so sorry. If you can diagnose it, please come and meet me afterwards. Uh, because it's really straining my vocal cords and I've been told not to talk. And I think my husband will be very happy with that. See, I believe that while technology advances, there is one aspect that should never change, and that is the human touch. In this profession, empathy is not important. Empathy is as important as expertise. I'm so sorry. That's the reason I was telling Vaneja I won't be speaking today. But I never miss an opportunity to connect with the alumni. So I think I'll make it very short, though there are a lot of things I want to speak. I just would like to congratulate everybody associated with this organizing this national conference. And thank you to all the alumni whose passion and commitment have made this celebration possible. I hope we continue this journey from education to professional excellence and from professional excellence to meaningful social impact. Thank you and best wishes for such an excellent conference. Thank you.
It is a great honor to introduce an eminent academic leader whose remarkable journey reflects excellence, dedication, and unwavering commitment to higher education and healthcare. We are privileged to have amidst us Professor Dr. Vivek Savji sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University Pune. Hailing from Burdhana district of Vidarbha, Dr. Savji completed his medical education from Indira Gandhi Government Medical College, Nagpur, followed by advanced training in surgical oncology at the renowned Tata Memorial Hospital, Mumbai. Since joining Bharati Vidyapeeth in 1990, Dr. Savji has contributed immensely to the institution through his academic expertise, administrative acumen, and inspiring leadership. He has served as a principal and dean of Bharati Vidyapeeth Medical College for a decade, guiding the institution towards academic and clinical excellence. He later went on to serve as vice chancellor of KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research, Belgaum, where he played a transformative role in advancing academic innovation. Dr. Savji is internationally recognized for his contributions to health professions education and leadership, having received prestigious fellowships and advanced training from globally reputed institutions in the United States. Over the year, he has mentored educators, inspired students, and contributed significantly to the evolution of higher education in India. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Vivek Savji, to the dais.
Very good afternoon to you all, dignitaries on the dais, Executive Director of Bharati Vidyapeeth Health Science Institutions, Dr. Smita Tai Jagtap, Registrar of our University, Mr. G. Jaikumar, the Principal of the College, Dr. Arti Vaknis, the Vice Principal, Dr. Sone, the Honorary Director, Dr. Gauri Belsare, Dr. Vanaja, the former Principal, the Dean of the Medical College, Dr. Karmarkar, the Dean Faculty, Dr. Priscilla Joshi, officials of the university, heads of the departments, distinguished alumni who have come from different places, delegates, resource faculty, invited guests, my dear students and friends. It is indeed a very proud moment for me to be here in front of you this morning as we celebrate 20 years of excellence of this particular institute, our School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. Dr. Gauri and Dr. Arti in a video showed the progress of the institute. But friends, I think one person behind all these, our founder chancellor, Dr. Patangrao Kadam, I think he was a man of a great foresight. Audiology and speech language pathology, this is not a very glamorous branch or not a glamorous branch then, but when he realized that okay, I think this branch particularly can make difference in the lives of people, then I think he thought that well, in our institute we must have that center, that school, that institution. And like he has taken the institutions which are not really all conventional, like our Institute of Environmental Education and Research, like our Interactive Research School for Health Affairs. So where they're not really institutions where traditionally we can say we give conventional education and also it is a source of revenue, but as a part of commitment, as a part of service, as a part of giving back. So this was his idea, this was his foresight. So I think when this idea came up that okay, we should have this institute with Dr. Gauri and at that time Dr. Karandikar and other members who brought up that idea, the founder chancellor Patangrao Kadam Sahib, he happily accepted it, and not just accepted it, he supported it. So today it is one of the leading institutions, not just in the state of Maharashtra, but in the country. And we are really proud that this initiative which was taken up is nurtured by the faculty, by the students, with the support of management, and today it is standing tall amongst the audiology and speech language institutes. In fact, the icing on the cake or the cherry on the top, which we can say, is the designation of the Center of Excellence tag to this particular institute by the Rehabilitation Council of India. So I think the good work that is recognized across, I mean, the regulatory councils, the bodies, and of course the good work that you all are doing. So that's certainly commendable. I mean, full marks to the team working here for really bringing about these transformative changes and really establishing this as one of the leading centers. All the teachers, the students, the alumni who come out, you all make us proud. Today I am told for this conference from education to excellence, or rather professional excellence, we have, this is an alumni led conference, so it's being supported or maybe conducted with the help of alumni. And I'm told that there are 170 plus alumni who have joined out of 900 odd plus odd alumni who have passed out from the portals of this institute. So many of you are coming back, and so many of you still feel that okay, your connect with the institution speaks volumes about the environment, volumes about the training, volume about your connect with the institute. So it's really commendable, and we really appreciate your involvement in all these activities. Again told that there are 350 plus delegates. There are going to be very many papers, and the conference is going to be a really landmark event. This is the second conference, that is what I am made to understand. So it's really a great initiative, and all compliments to the organizing team, the principal, and all the faculty members involved in this activity. Friends, there are two things that are happening. One, of course, is the alumni meet, where you all would be really having a feeling of nostalgia, coming back together, where you started, how did you start, I mean, those early years, those challenges that you had, maybe small classrooms, maybe I think just about enough equipments, but that your zeal, with your enthusiasm, with the commitment of the faculty, I think you have come a long way, and today you're all doing a wonderful work, not just nationally, but on international fronts. So it really makes us proud that our alumni who have graduated from this are doing exceedingly well, and that's something that a teacher, or that as an organization, that's the best possible reward, and that's the best possible recognition, that the students who have become alumni and are now coming back and have become a part of an extended family. So it's really a very heartening feeling. And then of course, I think the conference, there will be deliberations, there will be exchange of ideas, there will be new areas which will be discussed, and I think this will benefit the students, the professionals, the scholars, and everyone into the clinical practice as well. Just before concluding, I would want to say that just as Dr. Asmita has said, that how we have been able to, how this institute has been able to live up to the motto of Bharati Vidyapeeth, that social transformation through dynamic education. So you're bringing in social transformation through your service. I entirely echo with what she says. And I think the most important part that you all are doing are making difference in the lives of people. So I mean, that mother, that child, that parent, that whoever it is. So I think making difference. I think we have 5 senses, and one of the senses, if that is distorted, or if there is a problem, so you are able to help restore that. You are able to maybe make someone hear. You are able to make someone speak, and that's something which is phenomenal. And I think that really change the makes the difference in the life of that individual, that family, and overall in the society. I attend so many of your programs, and I see so many school children really, I think, coming into the mainstream. It's so heartwarming, it's very touching, at times it's overwhelming, that okay, these children come, I mean, they are, I mean, singled out, they are having being discriminated, but bringing them in mainstream and making difference. So as I said, if we are able to make difference in the life of one person, it's still a job well done, and you are making difference in the lives of many, many more. So hats off to you, hats off to your commitment, passion, courage, and the wonderful work you are doing. I'm sure that 20 years, it's time to reflect on. I keep saying that I think these landmark events, I mean, how do we celebrate them? And I think the best way to celebrate them is to reflect on them as to where from we have come, where are we today, and what are our next steps, or what is it that is road ahead for us. So we have come from a very humble beginning. We have come on a with a commitment and a passion of few, but today we are standing tall because of the strong foundation laid by these people. So today we are really in the phase where we can uh, we can go leaps and bounds. We can really make a very high impact. So in 20 years time, 20 years is not a long time, but we have come to a very, I mean, a good position, and now it's time to really make most of it. So possibly next 5, 7, 10 years we should really be able to cash on to the emerging areas, technological innovations, and how we are able to still be able to make difference in the lives of people. So we have come from a humble beginning. We are on a strong position, and we should have a clear roadmap or a vision for the future. And if we are able to do that, I think nobody will be able to stop us. So on this day, wishing everyone the very best, and congratulating each and everyone for your success. All the alumni who have come, we are truly indebted to you. You thought of your alma mater, you thought of coming back, you thought of giving back, and it's not necessarily in the form of some donation or some contributions or something like that. It's your time, it's your commitment, it's your good word, it's your connect with the students, that will certainly give them a lot of confidence that they are in the right place, and they also have a bright future they can look forward to. So I think with these, it's really nice. Alumni, when old friends meet, they will be remembering the good old days in the class, they have played the pranks. Possibly they may not remember what was taught to them in the class, but the class they have missed or bunked, or after bunking, where, I mean, if they had gone to movie or a picnic or some, I mean, just wandering around in the cafeteria or something. So these are the moments I'm sure everyone cherishes more than the academics or the grades that you get. Of course, grades are important, but more important is your commitment to the cause. And I'm sure, I think the young students who are here will take a lot of inspiration from the alumni. So once again, I welcome the alumni. Thank you for being part of the large Bharati Vidyapeeth family, and we hope and continue that you will remain connected with us, and help us also in course correction. I mean, your suggestions, they are most welcome, and we would certainly value them, and make the corrections or whatever is possible based on your experiences. So wishing everyone the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are aware that there should not be anything after the chief guest talk. However, because of the RCI thing, we have skipped a very important event and we cannot do without it. It is some felicitations that we wanted to do on the occasion of 20 years. So I'm extremely sorry that we are changing the protocol, but with permission from the chair, we would like to felicitate the important people who have really contributed uh, to School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. So we take the liberty and conduct the felicitations. Thank you.
As we celebrate this significant milestone, we would like to express our appreciation to those who have shaped this institution over the past 20 years. Although our beloved founder chancellor, Dr. Honorable Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib is not with us today, his vision continues to inspire many generations of student and faculty as well. The legacy of SASLP stands tall today because of the vision, dedication, and tireless efforts of those who have laid its foundation. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir to felicitate these individuals who have contributed to the growth of SASLP. Firstly, Dr. Karandikar Sir, who was not able to be here today, but has been kind enough to send us a video, was instrumental in forming our college. We would like to felicitate Dr. Gauri Belsare. We would not be here without you, ma'am. The first principal in charge of BVDU SSLP and now our honorary director who has helped to form SASLP. Dr. C.S. Vanaja, ma'am. The story is that it was serendipity that brought Vanaja ma'am to Pune just as SSLP was started as a college. And it was our good fortune to have ma'am as our principal. Since joining in 2007, Dr. Vanaja ma'am has been a true leader, leading by example, an inspirational clinician, teacher, and mentor. We thank you, ma'am, for bringing SASLP to national and international heights that it is at today. We extend our gratitude to Dr. Namita Joshi and Mrs. Madhavi Tambe, who were not able to attend today, but they are two of our first faculty members whose dedicated work has nurtured and shaped SASLP students. Next, we call Dr. Medha Karbhari Adharyu ma'am. After their retirement, Dr. Geeta Gore ma'am, Mrs. Maya Sanghi, and Dr. Medha Karbhari Adharyu ma'am have helped to frame our master's program and laid its foundation. Unfortunately, Mrs. Geeta Gore and Mrs. Sanghi ma'am could not attend this event today. We now express our gratitude to those staff who have been a part of SASLP since its inception and continue to serve this institute with dedication. Of course, Professor Dr. Aarti Vaknis ma'am, Principal of BVDU SSLP. We thank you, ma'am, for your dedication, hard work, and the motivation that you bring every single day. I call upon Dr. Sharda Sarda, Professor and Head of Department of Audiology, to receive this token of appreciation for her sincere and dedicated efforts towards SASLP. Mrs. Swati Shinde, ma'am, I request you to come forward. Mrs. Swati Shinde, Clinical Coordinator, SASLP. She is known by each and every student that has passed through the halls of our college, and we thank her for her consistent and sincere service to our institute. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Piyush Sone to deliver the vote of thanks.
distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, esteemed alumni, faculty members, students, and friends. Good afternoon. It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion celebrating 20 glorious years of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University School of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology, along with the inaugural ceremony of second Alumni Conference 2026. Firstly, we bow in deep respect to our beloved founder, Dr. Patangravji Kadam sir, whose vision continues to inspire and guide us. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Sir, Professor Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam sir, for his constant encouragement and unwavering support. Sincere thanks to Secretary of Bharati Vidyapeeth, Pro Vice Chancellor, former Minister of Government of Maharashtra, Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Kadam sir, for his continued guidance and strong leadership. His support has always been a pillar of strength for us. I am grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Dr. Vivek Savji Sir, for his visionary guest faculty member, principal, vice principal, HOD for their presence. To our current students, remember that you are the future of Bharati Vidyapeeth. We hope this event inspire you to strive for excellence and